Hi everybody, it's me, Heza-chan, and today I am here with a serious video. I know I don't make a lot of these, but this is very important that I talk about this. I've been a member of the cosplay community for 16 years, and when I see something shady, I'm going to inform the community about it so that other people hopefully don't get roped in or have to deal with this person. I have my handy clipboard here with a bunch of notes to try to stay as organized and on topic as possible so I don't jump around. I have my phone ready to show you guys some email proof. So with that said, today I am talking about Wine Country Comic Con and my experience with the head of the convention, Uriel Brenna. In December, actually, this is the actual date, and I wish I would have noticed this earlier when he emailed me, but this is the actual date and timestamp. December 17th, 2015 at 1:58 a.m. So basically 2 a.m. in the morning, I get this email from Uriel, and the subject says Wine Country Comic Con. The body says, and this is word for word, I'm going to read this with the grammatical errors and everything, word for word. So it says, "Hello, my name is Uriel Brenna. I am planning the Wine Country Comic Con on April 23 and 24, 2016. This is going to be a great event. I am going to use this event to fundraise money for kids with ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder. There is a great need in our community for a program that helps early detection and early learning for autistic children. I can't think of a better event than this one to help out our community. I would love if you can participate. You're, spelled Y-O-U-R, an amazing artist." As I already mentioned, the Wine Country Comic Con, it has a little like circle with the R in it right next to it, will take place at the Sonoma County Fairgrounds on April 23 and 24, 2016. I am reaching out to you to invite you to participate. 100% of the proceeds will go directly to benefit a program for young children with ASD. The event will attract thousands of fans due to overwhelming support from our local media partners. Gracias, Uriel Brenna, WineCountryComicCon.com. One, there was a lot of grammatical errors and stuff like that, but I've chalked it up. I was like, hey, maybe it's, English isn't this first guy's language. And then I was also thinking, they didn't mention any of their media partners. They just said they had them. And then they also didn't mention the specific charity or what the money was going. It just said that it was going to benefit autism, but they didn't mention what exactly it specifically is going to, right? Just general. But I thought that, like I said, first year convention, disorganized, and that, I have autistic friends, and I thought this would be a great thing to do and help out with. But also the wording of the email confused me, as in, are they inviting me to be a guest, or are they inviting me just to go and attend and invite friends along to, have more attendance, right? Since he emailed me around the holidays, I think it took me about a month to get to him. Like, one, I was lazy, and two, I was, flip-flopping about the idea. And then, so I email him back asking, for clarification if I'm being invited as a guest or not. And this is the email. It was sent January 5th at 5:54 p.m. It says, "Hello, Heza. Yes, I am inviting you as guest. We will provide hotel and food. We will also provide a 10x10 booth where you can sell your pictures and autographs. Gracias, Uriel Brenna." So I was like, well, okay. And then I get, I say, all right, I would like to help out, standard, whatever. And then he emails me on the 8th, 2 days later, and this is all it says. It literally just says, hold on, I don't know if you can see this, hold on. It says, "Any number where I can call you," and it doesn't say his name, it doesn't say hello or anything, it's just a sentence. and it was sent at 12:53 a.m. past midnight, near almost 1 a.m. Weird, right? Like, why is emailing me this late? I was a little bit hesitant in giving him my number because when I have been a guest for other conventions in the past, like in Mexico and locally here, you know, I've only been a guest at 2 events, but still, I have friends who've been guests at international conventions and plenty of them in the US that can tell me that asking for a personal phone number is not protocol, right? Like, usually it's kept between emails, and that's how my other guest appearances have. It's been strictly business, professional, through email only. And so, you know, a red flag was, you know, going off in my head like, hey, you know, this doesn't add up, this is kind of weird. But I pushed that to the side, and I said to myself, first year con, not very well organized. And also, if I can talk to this person, then that would be great. Also, it's easy for me to block a number if something's not adding up. I give him my phone number, I tell him that I'm busy that weekend and that I would be available the following week. So I get a phone call, like, it wasn't even like that Monday. It was like in the middle of the week somewhere. I think it was either on a Wednesday or a Thursday, after I told him that I wasn't available after that weekend. And he called me at around 8 p.m. while I was grocery shopping. And I thought that was a really odd time to call somebody. I'm like, why wouldn't you call somebody at like maybe 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, somewhere in there? And, well, I said to myself, I'll just call him back in the morning. And so that was my plan. I was going to call him back the next day. So the next day happens, I wake up, I go to take my dog out. It was around 10:30 a.m. and I get a call around 11 from him, before I can call him, before I could come back with my dog, sit down, and have some time to actually have a conversation. So I answer it, and, you know, he's really hyped up. He's telling me the gist of what his first email told me, like where it's being held, that the money's gonna go towards autism, and stuff like that. And again, not mentioning a specific charity or something like that. So, sorry, I'm looking at my notes here so I stay on track. And so he mentioned something about my social media following. Like, he's like, yeah, I noticed that you have quite the social media following. And I said, thank you. And he says to me, but I noticed you don't have a personal website. And another red flag went off. I was like, actually I do. Because like, he never mentioned like that it was impressive to him that I'd been cosplaying for as long as I have, or that he liked my costumes. Like on the phone call, he mentioned that I was an amazing artist in the email, but he had not mentioned it over the phone call, or, you know, my seniority in the cosplay community. You know, that I'm a veteran. I've been doing this for like 16 years, making costumes. And he never mentioned any of that, so that kind of stung a little bit, but I understand that business is business and that you want a cosplayer who will bring an audience to your convention. So I got that. But when he mentioned that he didn't notice I had a website, and I said, yes, I do. It's listed on all of my social media. And he's like, oh, well, if you need any help with your social media numbers, I do work in marketing. And he tried to sell me his services, basically. And I said, oh, well, that's cool. You know, I blew it off. I wasn't going to say no thank you, but I wasn't going to say yes. I mean, obviously I'm not going to say yes because, one, I don't want to pay somebody for that, and two, I really don't need the help when I found out, like, you know, if he's a head of marketing, if he has got a marketing firm, if that's what he does, you would think his social media presence would have been better for his convention, which it wasn't. But I digress. You know, he was mentioning things like he was thinking really big, and he was mentioning like, oh yeah, I want to do like this cosplay ball, and I would like to do a walk for autism and all this stuff, but obviously none of that was ever mentioned on the website, nor is it going to happen. I asked him standard questions that guests, you know, somebody who's a guest would ask, like, how many panels do you want me to run? Am I judging your cosplay contest? Are you having a cosplay contest? And he completely dodged those questions. Like, he's like, well, we don't know yet, you know, this and that. And so, you know, later on I had emailed him about those things, and he still dodged them even like weeks to months later. So red flag. So one thing I said, yeah, I looked on your website and I was looking at your guest pages and things like that, and I looked at your cosplay rule page, and I noticed that you had some stolen cosplayer images, one of which is somebody I am friends with and have talked to for a while online now, and she's a very prominent cosplayer in the community, and I know that she's not attending your event, and it'd be smart if you remove these pictures of these, because it was just random cosplayers they had, and one of them was actually Ryoko Demon from Russia, and I know she's not going to that convention. Like, you know, so I try to explain that you can't do that. You can't just take a cosplayer's images and put them on your site and promote. Like, that's that's false advertisement. Two, you didn't get permission to use their image for marketing, for that sort of thing. And he brushed it off and he said, oh, well, you know, I hired a professional website designer to do my website so that it wasn't his responsibility or it wasn't his fault. But I said, well, you better get a hold of them because you could get in legal trouble because this is your event. And he brushed it off. And so I was pretty mad, and I waited a couple weeks to see if he would remove them, and they never did. So I contacted the cosplayer that I do know to let them know, and she emailed them and got no response. And few weeks passed after that email, and she had to take it publicly to get her picture removed. And he did it. Like, he didn't listen to me, but he listened to the actual cosplayer, which but anyway, that's like later on, so let's head back. So after that phone call, I got an email. Well, during the phone call too, he also asked about it, asking me if I could make a video announcing that I'm going to his event and where it's being held, the dates, all that stuff. And I was like, well, okay, because I saw one of the guests who was a Power Ranger did that for him, so I was like, okay, I'll make a video for you. And I did that, and I sent it to him. And then after that, you know, he asked me for pictures and, oh, what do you call it? Like, to make yourself like a profile, like a description, like, oh, this is Hesitant, she's been cosplaying for so long, and achievements and all that kind of stuff. So I did that and I sent it to him. Then I didn't get an email for like several weeks. And then I finally get an email from him and he's asking like for better communication. Let me look at it specifically because I want to get this correct and I don't want to paraphrase too much. And he says that they finished some changes on the website and all that stuff. Okay, here it is. It says, yes, we are just finishing, and this was January 28th. Yes, we are just finishing all the new changes in the website. Sorry, it's supposed to be am, but it says, sorry, I haven't been in touch. Just working in all the last details. I'll send you a link tonight. Feel free to add me to my personal Facebook for quick messaging. And I ignore it. I don't want to add him to his Facebook. And then he emails me February 2nd. So that was on January 28th, and then he emails me again on February 2nd at 9:45 p.m. saying, hello Heza, I hope you're doing well and in good health. It's crazy how busy we all are. When possible, I would like for you to check out our web pages and let me know if all the information is correct. We used everything you send and also enhanced your bio with additional information drawn from Wikipedia and the internet. I don't have a Wikipedia page. How could they draw any information from that? Like, I'm not a famous enough cosplayer to have a Wikipedia page. And so the only enhancement he does is he calls me a cosplay model, which, I mean, yeah, I model my own costumes, but I'm not a model. I'm not a professional model. It was just weird. But anyway, please make sure we are not using anything that you don't like. If we are, please let us know so we can make necessary changes. We have two versions of the web page, the desktop version and the mobile version. Please make sure you check both. Now that we are 80 days from the event, we are moving to step 2, marketing in big, bold, capital letters. Please share our social media pages and let your fans know about the convention. Make sure to you tag and mention us. This is our first year. It's funny because he didn't tag or mention me. Like, he would just like hashtag my name and not tag my Facebook page or even my website when he announced me on their Facebook page as a guest. So that's weird. This is our first year, but we really hope to make the event grow with your help. We're doing a special event in a winery to thank you for your help the Monday after the convention. The idea is to let you enjoy a little of the wine country. I know you are local, but still, the way you can make friends with the artist. The way you can make friends with the artist. Confirm if you can make it. Then he says, my personal Facebook, my Comic-Con Facebook, Wine Country comic page, Instagram, Twitter. He sends me all this stuff. So he's still pushing me to add him to Facebook. And I don't mention that because I was like, why would all the guests be still there on a Monday? And, you know, that's weird. And then again, I get another email on the next day, the very next day, saying, I shared the video this morning. Please add me on Facebook. So, like, he kept pushing me to add him on Facebook, and I wasn't going to. So I sent him an email politely saying that I would like to keep our communication strictly through email and keep it professional because my personal Facebook is personal for a reason. And, like, I have my messages turned off on my cosplay page for a reason, too, because harassment, and it is extremely hard to, like, if somebody's just harassing you on Facebook through Messenger, like on your public page, and they're not posting publicly, like for everybody to see, it is very hard to ban them from your page. So that's why I have that turned off, right? If somebody wants to communicate with me, they can find my email and they can email me. So after I send him that email saying no thank you, I'd rather not add you on Facebook, a whole month goes by where I hear nothing from him. And then the day before I leave for LA, I went down to LA to meet with some old friends from the Midwest that moved down there, and we went to Disneyland, and there was a video game tournament that we were all going to. I see this article being shared from some of my local cosplay friends on Facebook about Wine Country Comic Con having a fake Facebook page to catfish, like, its fans, or like not fans, but to not only promote the site but to also like be flirty. Because so this catfish page this fake page's name was Frida Avila. And the pictures were stolen pictures of a Ukrainian model called Liza Kotetskaya, or I can't pronounce it right, or Elza Kotetsky. So these were stolen pictures. And the Nerd and Tie had called him out. And I was like, this is very fishy. Like, I already had all these red flags. First, there was no mention of the actual, like, charity that they were going to donate this money to. 2, when I asked him about doing panels and judging, he dodged my questions. 3, like, the emails were very unprofessional sounding. And 4, him trying to push me to add him to Facebook. Like, all that didn't add up. And this is another thing that was a red flag. If you are selling or a guest at a California convention, you have to get a seller's permit through a government website through California, right? So you can pay taxes on the items that you sell. You have to have that. You cannot legally sell your items or your goods at a convention without that. So I already knew this, but Uriel failed to ever mention that. So, and I was waiting for him to say something about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait and see, you know, if he says anything about that. And he never did. He never mentioned it once. And as a person who's running a convention, he should already know this, right? Right. So that article, you know, I was there for like a whole weekend, and I get back and I see, you know, I'm deliberating, like, you know, I really want to back out of this convention. It just, the things don't add up right. I don't like the fact that he has my phone number, and, you know, that he kept pushing me to add him on Facebook. It just doesn't add up, right? And so the Nerd and Tie comes out with a second article about even more fake Facebook accounts that Wine Country Comic Con had, and they used stolen pictures from Mexican cosplayers. Like, us cosplayers would never figure that out or notice. Like, even though, yes, I'm in the United States and those cosplayers are in Mexico, the cosplay community is an international community, and we at least know somebody who knows somebody who knows that person. You know, that's just how it is in our small community. And so I was like, well, that's shady, and also it's kind of funny because if Uriel's trying to pull the wool over my eyes, like, he didn't do, like I said before, he didn't do his research about me. He didn't know how long I've been cosplaying or that I had been a guest at other conventions. He had absolutely no clue that, especially one of the conventions that I was a guest at was Con Comics in Guadalajara, Mexico in 2010, where I made friends with some Mexican cosplayers. Also, the Nerd and Tie article mentions a GoFundMe page, and I will link to all these articles below so you can read and come to your own conclusions. And this GoFundMe page for Wine Country Comic Con said that the money was going to go to building a early learning institute. Those words are very important. Early learning institute. And when Nerd and Tie, or I think somebody else did too, they investigated this on their own and emailed the Early Learning Institute asking, because all the catfish accounts were a little bit fishy anyway, right? Haha, joke, pun intended. They thought it was fishy anyway, so they went to say, hey, are you guys indeed affiliated with this convention? And they were not. They said that they were not, and they also even made a official announcement on their website, the Early Learning Institute, saying that they were not affiliated in any way with Uriel or Wine Country Comic Con. So Uriel changed the wording and description on the GoFundMe, saying that they were going to build a early learning center. You know, like, it's just weird. I decided after that second article, after I saw it, that I was going to end my guest appearance. And so I emailed him saying, please, you know, I wish to not participate any longer. It said, due to unforeseen circumstances, I will no longer be attending your event. So I said it was very short and sweet, and I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. And that was it. I was very professional about it. I didn't mention the reasons why. I just said that unforeseen circumstances, right? Like I said before, he's very slow with replying to my emails, especially. And so I also made it public on my Facebook page and on my Twitter that I wasn't going to be attending anymore. I left it at that. I didn't say the reasons why. I just said that I wasn't going to attend. Not even like an hour after I sent that email, I get a phone call, and it's Uriel. And he's asking me, he's like, yeah, I got your email this morning. You emailed my organization. And I said, I didn't email you in the morning, and no, I didn't email your organization. I don't even have your organization's, like, email. Like, I emailed you the same email that you have been contacting me with, and I emailed you not even an hour ago. So I did not email you this morning. And he's like, well, I replied to your email this morning, and I said, I did not email you this morning, and I did not get a reply to my email at all, like the one that I just sent you less than an hour ago. I have no replies. And he's like, oh, you know, like, I don't know, he's like confused or like backing up. So what I'm thinking is that he thought that I was like trying to investigate myself, you know, because he was paranoid, because he mentioned the articles. So he asked, he's like, may I ask you why you're not attending my event? And I said, yeah, I'll give you the reasons. And before I can even list them, he gets super paranoid, and he says, oh, is it because of those articles and stuff like that? Somebody's trying to sabotage us. They have like a personal vendetta and this and that. And I told him, I was like, calm down. Like, I'm gonna give you a list. I'm like, you really wanna know why? I will tell you why. And several of my friends said that I didn't really need to give him a reason, but I really wanted him to know just how much he messed up. So I said, 1, you asked me for my phone number, which is kind of odd, but whatever. 2, when I asked you about doing panels and judging, you dodged my questions. Number 3, you failed to inform me that I would need a California seller's permit to sell anything that I wanted to sell at your convention. And he interrupts me right there, and he says to me, whoa, 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 who told you this? Who told you that? And I said, well, Uriel, if you had done your research, you would know that I've been cosplaying for 16 years now, and that I have been a guest at other conventions. And last year, I was a guest at KrakenCon, and I was informed that I would need a seller's permit. And this is a very common piece of knowledge that most con goers already know, especially people who sell in the artist alley. And he gets like really defensive about it. Like super defensive. And I said no, and I said also about the cosplayer pictures that I told you about a long time ago to remove, trying to help you out, and you completely ignored it. And he's like, well, that was a professional website, blah, 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 it's not my fault. I said, it doesn't matter. I said it took for my friend to take it publicly for you to remove it, because she emailed you and you never responded. And he's getting really angry. And the funny thing is when he says that I hired a professional company to make this website and that it's not his responsibility. As you know, when people buy a template or they hire a company to make a website, you go down to the bottom and it says who it was designed by and what company it's made by. Well, the Wine Country Comic Con website is made by Brenna Outreach Strategies, which is Uriel's marketing business. And also if you go there to the website, you can see Uriel's logo has the Attack on Titan logo in it, and that's copyrighted image. Also, he's giving out bags with Wine Country Comic Con's logo on it and Spider-Man, which I know for a fact he does not have Disney or Marvel's permission to be able to put that on merchandise. He doesn't. When I tell him about the articles and the fake accounts and things like that, and I said, this is really bad. It's really bad, and there's hard proof. And he's like, well, that's just your opinion. That's just your opinion. And I said, it's not my opinion if there's proof. It's right there. That's proof. Nobody made that up. And he's like, well, I look forward to working with you in the future, and blah, 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 and all that stuff. I'm like, and he's very angry and frustrated at this point and trying to stay professional. But, when I'm trying to give him my reasons, he was trying to interrupt me the whole time and, interrupted him back, right? And I was very, I wasn't mean. I was very stern to try to help him understand that, yo, you messed up, right? And I said it as professional as I possibly could. I asked him, like I said, to remove all of my images from his website because I'm no longer a guest. And he emailed me a day later, or even that evening, saying that, he removed all my images from the site. But as you may have remembered from one of the emails, he said he has a website, that you can browse on your PC or your laptop, but he also has a mobile website too. And I'm going to check it right now. So, sorry, there'll be a jump cut because I don't want you having to wait 15 minutes because the website's so poorly designed and loads extremely slow. This is the Wine Country Comic Con mobile website right here. So I'm gonna go to the guests page. Boop. Going to the guest page, it's loading very slowly. Anyway, all the guest page, you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Wait, I'll get there. Just hold on. See, things are loading and scrolling. Sorry, this is going to take forever. I don't want it to crash because if I scroll faster than this, it will crash and try to reload itself. Because there's too much going on here, okay? Hold on. So here's the voice actors that they got as guests. apparently, so this was one thing that I thought was suspicious too, is that they have all these guests for a first-year convention, which is unheard of. And these guests most of them aren't even comic book related. So this is a comic book con with no guests that are comic book related except for like maybe one, which I understand. It's like, it should be more of a pop culture event, right? So let's keep scrolling. Let's keep scrolling. There we go. Let's see what their other guests are. So, okay, so here's the first cosplayer guest, who I tried to inform about this actually, but got no response. And so, oh look, who's still on their guest list on their mobile site? Oh geez, could that be? It's me! But I'm not going to that website, and I'm not going to that convention, and I asked them to remove my stuff. But according to their mobile website, I'm still going. But I'm not. And I've asked them to remove this. I brought it up twice publicly on my Twitter, and it's still, as of today, up. And today is, hold on, I'm really bad with dates. Today is Wednesday the 23rd of March. Right? So it's still up there. Apparently he had guests that have dropped out. It took him a long time to remove their stuff, and I think that there's one that still has dropped out that hasn't been removed from his original website. They're not on the mobile site, I don't think. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, those are the facts. I'll let you judge. He also has been going around to some local events trying to get people to be guests and vendors. And unlike other conventions that pay for a booth at the convention to advertise their stuff, he goes around just coming up to people randomly, like kind of like soliciting. Not really soliciting because he's not trying to sell you necessarily anything, but he comes up in person. He's just by himself. He didn't hire a booth with any professional flyers or like business cards or anything like that. So he's trying to regain people to come to his convention. So if he does approach you, take a look at this information and make your own decision. It's very concerning to me that the money could be going into his pockets and not going to help children with autism spectrum disorder. Another thing I need to mention too is that for a while, the GoFundMe page, after he changed the language the first time from Early Learning Institute to Early Learning Center, it was down for several weeks, and now it is back up saying that they just need funds to run the convention because it's expensive and that it's being hosted by the Rosalind Lions Club. So there's no mention of the money going to children with autism anymore. But if you look at one of the donations on the side, you'll notice that one of the donations was made before the language was chosen, saying that they're happy that this money is going to a great cause to help children with disabilities. So, I'll let you think about that. I'm going to list the articles that Nerd and Tie made about this, as well as the Early Learning Institute's statement saying that they are not affiliated, so in hopes that you can read and educate yourself, so that way if he does approach you in becoming a guest or going to the convention as a vendor or anything like that, that you can make your own educated decision whether or not to participate. Thank you for watching, and if you feel like it, share this, especially to NorCal people, because that's who he's targeting anyway. So I will see you later. Bye!